All right, is Centennial, Colorado a good place to live?
People ask the questions.
What the hell?
Let's find out together, shall we? Let's go. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim Camp and your host for Everything Denver, Colorado, where we talk about all things Denver real estate so you can make the best decision on your move in and around Denver. And today we're highlighting Centennial, Colorado. To start off, guys, why don't we jump into the map here so you guys can see exactly where Centennial is, get a little bit of an idea of its roads around it, what to do there, some different amenities that are nearby, and then we'll jump into neighborhoods, pros and cons, and what it's like living there. So right here on the map, you can have Denver right here in the center. This E470 freeway kind of runs all the way around Denver. Centennial right here in the center. We're going to focus a lot of our time here on the east side of I-25. But you see here in the center, you got Centennial Airport. This is a small regional airport with just charter flights and private flights. So it's not going to be that noisy. They do run some schools out of there for people who are looking to get their pilot's license, but it's nothing like living out by DIA. So I don't want you to worry about, oh man, we're right next to the airport. We're going to have a ton of airport noise going on. As we zoom into this area of Centennial, you'll notice a couple things. This area by the Centennial Airport, this neighborhood of Dove Valley is a very popular area, and this is actually where the Broncos have their training facility. So if you got kids that are just loving sports and they want to go and see one of the Bronco practices or the fall training camps that happen, they're open to the public. It's a great time to take out the kids, and sometimes the players will sign autographs after practice. So that's really cool. You also have this huge park, Dove Valley Park, that people will go out and they have exercise classes that are happening there. They have playgrounds for the kids. There's tons of fields for the flag football games, soccer games, cross games, everything you can imagine happens out of that Dove Valley Park. So the big benefit of people that live in Centennial say they love the outdoor activities to do. There's a ton of trails all the way out through the Centennial area. You have the Cherry Creek Regional Trail that runs right here through Centennial, goes all the way down through Parker, and it goes all the way up into Denver. So if you're looking for a way to bike to work, that could be a great option for you if you work in the Denver area. Another thing you'll notice here on the map is this town of Foxfield. It looks like it is everything west of this Parker Road area here, but it actually is just a 1 square mile neighborhood that they kind of incorporated to keep some of the development from encroaching on some of the homes that are there. It's very small. It is very nice and exclusive neighborhood. A lot of the homes are going to be significantly older, and a lot of them do need some updating. You're going to be looking in the 1 million price point plus in the Foxfield neighborhood. But the rest of these areas of Centennial are also equally as desirable, but you're not going to be in the town of Foxfield. As you move further to the east, you're going to find the Grandview High School in this area of Saddle Rock. You're kind of getting into Aurora at that point. It's going to be very similar to the rest of Centennial, but a little bit more of a subdivision feel. So how do people commute and get around here, and where do they work in the neighborhoods if they live in Centennial? Well, some people work out at the Centennial Airport. Some people work in the Denver Tech Center. That's this area right here where you see the word Inverness. This is going to be most of the Denver Tech Center, where we got a lot of corporate jobs, a lot of financial jobs, real estate jobs, all those things kind of in this hub, and a lot of tech jobs, obviously. Having this C470 and I-25 going through town make it very easy to get around. If those are backed up and you don't want to sit in traffic as much, you can take Parker Road here all the way up into Denver. It's a big thoroughfare that runs straight through, and then Arapahoe Road right here runs straight through Centennial as well. So if you need to get east or west, those are going to be two of your main thoroughfares in getting around town. Now, if we move a little bit further to the north here, you'll see Cherry Creek State Park. That's a very popular place for people to hang out, especially in the summer, to go camping. Go out on the reservoir. It's one of the few reservoirs that you can take out a motorboat on and go enjoy outdoor recreation, water skiing and wakeboarding and things like that. And there's also hundreds of miles of trails all throughout here, including the Cherry Creek State Park. So definitely a place to check out. Now here up on this northern end of Centennial, we have the road of Smoky Hill that runs kind of at a diagonal northeast or southeast and northwest through Centennial, and this is sort of a dividing marker between Centennial and Aurora. You also have Bellevue here. Some of the homes interspersed will have Centennial addresses, some will have Aurora addresses. But if you're getting further north of Smoky Hill, you're definitely going to be in the Aurora area. And the neighborhoods are going to start to become a little bit older, a little bit more dated. Definitely less HOAs in that area, so they're going to have less up. The homes are not going to be kept up as nice as some of these ones that are further south. Home prices are also going to be declining up in this area further north. So you are going to find cheaper homes the further north you go, but you're also going to get closer to the inner city of Aurora. And a lot of people are not finding that very desirable at this time. Okay, so I hope you got an idea of the town of Centennial, the little town of Foxfield, and everything kind of around Centennial. So we can dive into some of the neighborhoods, see what the pros and the cons are of living in Centennial. So pro number one, I would say Centennial's biggest thing it has going for it, there are a lot of outdoor things to do that are family friendly. You not only have all these trails and open space and state parks where you can go camping, take the kids out, do bike rides through the state park, go out on the Cherry Creek Trail, go out on some of these other trails that are very safe and they're kind of off of the main road, so you don't have to worry about the kids, diving into traffic and having to watch out for them quite as much. So you have a ton of family-friendly activities. You also have Topgolf in the Centennial area that's nice and convenient. Take the family there or go out there on a date night. And you have a lot of good rec centers and other, things for small kids to do, whether that's signing them up for a flag football league or, a soccer buddies league, or just going out and enjoying an afternoon of ice skating. And even in the middle of summer, we have an indoor ice arena here at the Family Sports and Recreation Center in the heart of Centennial. I've even taken my kids there, and they love to do the ice skating. And side note, the Avalanche players, our national hockey team that plays here in Denver, also practices there. So depending on what day you go, you might even get to see a few of the players working on their skills, which is really fun. Another pro of living in Centennial is you got a good blend of actually suburbs and kind of city living. Now, while Centennial is a suburb and it's not really a downtown area or anything like that, you have a lot of unique things to do and a lot of unique shopping opportunities, like the streets of South Glen. It's like an outdoor mall where you get a blend of your big box stores and you're also smaller mom and pop shops and cafes and salons and things like that. So you have a little bit of a diversity in the shopping opportunities and different things to do. And this is another cool area that'll have things throughout the year, whether that be farmers markets or festivals in the summertime or on the weekends, or Trick or Treat Street during the Halloween time period. So definitely a cool area for families and kids to experience. Also, on the outdoor recreation thing, you not only have the Cherry Creek State Park, which is a great place, and if you have a boat, we should become friends.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
2, you can take out that boat on the Cherry Creek State Reservoir. We don't have a lot of lakes here in Colorado where you can actually take out motorized watercraft. A lot of them are, restricted to having paddle boards, kayaks, or non-motorized watercraft. So Cherry Creek State Reservoir, a great place to go out and wakeboard and water ski, but also camping and fishing. And then if you do want a little bit of a smaller feel and you want maybe a place to teach the kids how to fish or do things like that, the Aurora or Quincy Reservoir just north in Aurora is a great option, or the Aurora Reservoir out east could be another potential option for you as well. So a lot of cool things to do for families, little kids, big kids, and everybody in between. Okay, so let's talk about some of the home prices, cost of living, and favorite neighborhoods to be in Centennial. So over here on the west end of town, where we're closer to Broadway and the streets of South Glen, this is going to be a little bit older part of Centennial, and home prices in this area are going to range from $500,000 to $650,000, depending on the size of home. Now, in these areas, you got to be prepared for it. They're going to be older style homes, a lot of them built in the 50s and 60s. And then as we move a little bit further to the east, where more of the land was developed and homes were built later time periods, you will find some updates throughout there. So we're if we're looking for historic charm and some vintage style homes closer to that west end, where you'll be paying around $600,000 for most of the homes in this area. And then as we move further east to neighborhoods like Willow Creek and Heritage Greens, we're going to find a little bit more upscale homes, things starting in the $700,000 range. They are going to be larger homes and a little bit more exclusive neighborhoods and very nice neighborhoods, large trees, established parks nearby that you can take the family to. So definitely get a more upscale home in here, but you're going to end up paying significantly more for those homes in those areas. A lot of them built in the 80s and 90s and maybe a few in the early 2000s, but they're also going to need some updating if they haven't been renovated already. As we move further to the east, if we get into the Dove Valley and this area of Cottonwood, Cottonwood's technically a neighborhood in Parker, but it is a little bit newer than some of those older homes that we spoke about. And if we move further to the east towards the Saddle Ridge area, Saddle Ridge Golf Course is nearby here, you are going to find newer homes built in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. Now, a secret I'm going to let you guys in on that you need to know about is if you are willing to live a little bit further east in that area of Aurora versus Centennial, you're probably going to save $25,000 to $30,000 off of the home price. And that's really only because of the name Aurora versus Centennial. Centennial is a super desirable area, and a lot of people are liking to move there and wanting to move there, driven up property values as a result of that. But if you get into a town like Aurora that is just to the east of it, now this is not the Aurora you're hearing about on the news. This is going to be identical to Centennial. You're not going to find that the neighborhoods are unsafe or anything like that. They are very good, clean, newer neighborhoods, and you're going to find that the home prices are significantly cheaper in this pocket of Aurora versus Centennial. So median home prices throughout Centennial are right around $650,000. Now, it will vary based on where you are in Centennial. If you're on the further west end where you have older neighborhoods, you can find things that are 600 and below. If you're in the center of Centennial, you're probably going to be hitting a higher price point in this area, $700,000, $800,000. If you're in that little town of Foxfield, you're going to be $1 million plus. Now, if you're really looking to get into that neighborhood, you got to watch it like a hawk because there's only 250 homes, less than 250 homes in that little pocket, that square mile of town. And they are on larger lots, but they are more dated and a little bit older style. So it's very appealing to some people, but you got to be willing to take on a project if you're looking to get into that area of Foxfield. And if you move even further to the east, I'd say this is probably where your best value is going to be. And you're going to find a little bit newer of a home built in the late 90s and early 2000s, and you're going to get more bang for your buck on that far east end of Centennial. So another question that comes up is what job opportunities are there and where do people work when they live in Centennial? What draws people to the area? Well, the nice thing about Centennial and its location to Denver is you have a ton of job opportunities all around you, not only within the city of Centennial with different businesses that are operating in the city, but you have the Denver Tech Center that's just outside of it where there's a lot of corporate and white collar jobs. Comcast, financial institutions, and others are kind of headquartered there. And you also have an Amazon fulfillment center that just came in on the south end of Centennial, kind of in between Centennial, Aurora, and Parker area. And you do have other things that are nearby. If you are working out at the airport, you can commute there pretty easily. If you work in the Centennial Airport, it's right there. So what are some of the downsides of living in Centennial? Well, for one, it's very much a bedroom community, suburban style lifestyle. So there's not a ton of nightlife opportunities. If you're looking for that, a little bit further north into the Denver area, Inglewood might be a better fit for you if that's very important to have that nearby. Con number two is it's not really walkable, and this kind of depends on where you are in Centennial. If you're in that area of South Glen where you're very close to those shops, yes, you're going to be able to walk to your shopping and your dining, bars, restaurants, and cafes, but for most of Centennial, it's going to be car dependent and you will need transportation to get around to most areas of Centennial. So if you're looking for a suburban feel, it's great. If you're looking for more of an urban vibe and something that's where you have a lot of walkability close by, Centennial's probably not the right fit for you. con is it's quite a bit further from the mountains than an area like Littleton or Lakewood or the Morrison area. So if you're wanting to go up and ski, snowboard every other weekend in the high country in the wintertime and make frequent trips up to the mountains, and having that closer by is important to you, then maybe a neighborhood like Lakewood or Arvada or Littleton might be a little bit better of a fit than Centennial would be. And you're going to find similar style homes in those areas as well. But Centennial is significantly further away from the mountains. It's going to take an extra probably 20 to 30 minutes than if you lived in one of those other towns that are close by that I-70 corridor up into the high country. Okay, so neighborhood ranking, city ranking, what would I give Centennial out of 10? If I was going to rank the city 1 to 10, I would give Centennial a solid 7. It's definitely got a lot of stuff going for it, a lot of outdoor activities, great for families, a lot of the suburban feel that a lot of people are looking for. You don't have to deal with some of the Denver drama and homelessness like you do in some of the other areas. The only things that kind of are a downside to it, not as new. You're going to definitely, if you're getting into one of these areas, you're probably going to have to do some renovating. A lot of the homes are older versus a town like Parker or Castle Rock, and you are paying a premium for living in Centennial. Like I said, if you want to save $25,000 or $30,000 and have an equal neighborhood, if you go just a little bit further to the east, we can get you a great deal on another neighborhood that's going to be of equal caliber to Centennial. So would I live here? Absolutely. I give it a 7 out of 10. And guys, comment the next city you want to know about in the comments below, because I'm going to do a whole series on all the cities and suburbs around Denver, giving them 1 through 10 rankings and giving you guys the pros and cons of where you should definitely check out when you're exploring your move to Denver. Make sure to hit me up as well. Call, text, or email, and I got your back on all things Denver real estate.